Good morning, everyone, and for those who I haven't seen yet, certainly Happy New Year. I, like all of you, am very happy to have closed the book on 2020, and I look forward to 2021 with a lot of enthusiasm based on the hard work of British Columbians over the past 10 months. We know that light is there at the end of the tunnel. We know that vaccines are coming online. As of yesterday, 63,430 British Columbians have received a COVID-19 vaccine. And as we receive more stock from the federal government, more vaccines will be administered. We've been working hard to make sure that everyone in British Columbia understands the trajectory and how we're going to proceed going forward. But I think before next week, when Minister Dix and I and Dr. Henry will give a more comprehensive update on the vaccine strategy, I think it's important for British Columbians to understand, as a rule of thumb, our primary focus has been and will be, in the short term, making sure that the most vulnerable in our society are at the front of the queue. That's been working effectively to this point in time, and we're hopeful that in the not-too-distant future, all long-term care residents and staff will be vaccinated, which will stop the outbreaks and stop the spread of the virus in those locations. Acute care will take a little bit more time, but again, Minister Dix and I will be talking about that next week. I wanted to just give you an update today on what the government's been doing in 2021. Of course, last week I participated in a First Minister's meeting with the Prime Minister and other provinces to talk about the rollout of vaccines, to talk about the spike in cases in other parts of Canada, particularly Ontario and Quebec. We have seen a decline in cases here in BC over the past number of weeks, and I want to thank British Columbians for their patience and their resolve to make sure that we can continue to do our level best to battle this vaccine in our own, or battle this virus in our own way, in our own communities. But we have a lot more work to do, and Cabinet has been focused on that over the past 2 days, starting on Tuesday and Wednesday, with full Cabinet discussions on a range of issues with respect to economic recovery, addressing the pandemic, and of course then looking forward to the challenges and hopes and aspirations of British Columbians beyond 2021 into the next 4 years. And to that end, today we'll be starting a 2-day virtual Cabinet retreat. I'm here at the Legislature. We'll be having members of Cabinet in their communities across BC. We'll be engaging in that strategic planning process to make sure that, of course, first and foremost, we're focusing on the pandemic and economic recovery, but also all of the other challenges British Columbians are well aware of. We need to continue to work with partners, particularly the federal government, to get a handle on the other public health emergency here in British Columbia, and that's the opioid crisis. That's the focus of new Minister Sheila Malcolmson. She came to Cabinet yesterday with a package of initiatives. We'll be moving those forward in the days ahead. Minister Eby has been tasked with addressing the housing crisis here in British Columbia, not just homelessness, which is fundamental and front of mind for all of us, but also making sure that the affordability focus that we had in the first term is front and center as we move into the second term. Also, we want to build on what has been an unprecedented expansion of childcare in British Columbia. That is an area where I think all British Columbians, regardless of where they live, regardless of their political perspective, understand and recognize that childcare is fundamental to our economic well-being, as well as the development of our children and getting them prepared for the K-12 system and beyond, as we build more skills into our communities, more skills into British Columbia. So with that, I'm sure there's many questions that you would have, but I wanted to say again at the outset that I'm very much looking forward to 2021. I think British Columbia stands very well positioned to take off as we put the pandemic behind us in the months ahead and start focusing on getting back to a place where we can enjoy the splendor and bounty of British Columbia and ensure that we address those fundamental challenges that have been here for a long time, like inequality, like making sure that all British Columbians benefit from the economic prosperity that we want for ourselves and for our neighbours and for our province. So with that, I'm happy to take some questions.